Scorpios, I would like to start by wishing all of you a happy birthday. Today is my birthday, and I always do a reading for you guys on this day, so let's go ahead and begin and see what comes through. Spirit, what do we have at the foundation of the reading for the Scorpios, please? Eight of Cups, Pisces energy at the foundation of the reading. Now, this Eight of Cups energy has been very strong inside the energy lately. I just put out that collective reading and we were seeing the Eight of Cups there as well. So this aligns with what's going on with the astrology. We're in Mercury retrograde, so there's a lot of energies that are coming back for review. And one of the messages that I heard before your reading, Scorpio, was the final goodbye. There's some sort of energy that is circling you, but they're not coming back for a reconciliation. The whole purpose of this is for the universe to show you how far you've come since you let certain energies go. I feel that you're in a completely different world now, Scorpios. There's a lot of energies around you on the astral plane, I feel, that have watched your elevation from afar, so to speak. These are people that may no longer be in your life anymore, and you're simply not the same person. You know, one of the other messages that I got before the reading was that the last time you spoke to a lot of these people or had them in your life, you were at some sort of rock bottom, or you just weren't where you are now. And some of these energies are actually wanting to try and get back into your life in some capacity here to share in your wins. Now, this is something we always hear about. If people can't handle you at your worst, then why do they deserve to come back at your best? I feel that wherever you're at in your life at this very moment, Scorpio, you've put a lot of hard work into getting to this point. A lot of you have had to take this lonely road to get to this very moment. And I feel that what's taking place energetically around you with some of these energies, on one hand, I feel is a little bit of a test. And then on the other hand, like we said, it's for the universe to show you how far you've come. Now, the part of this that is a test is the universe really showing you a comparison to your life now and the life that you had when these other people were around. There's a very clear distinction between the two now. You know, when these energies come back up from the past for review, you're also meant to see the lack of growth that these people may have had since you all disconnected. It's like they're exactly where they've always been. Everything is the same. It gives that feeling of timeline jumping. It's like you're being given a little peephole by the universe to look in and see that nothing has changed. You are truly the only one that was brave enough to go out on your own and implement the changes necessary to be able to evolve into the person you are now. Transformation personified. Now, the Eight of Cups here, by definition, is an energy where you have already learned from all of these past mistakes. There's nothing left to speak about, and you're certainly not going to be breaking bread with any of these people. Whether or not you have been offered up any sort of apologies, which I'm not feeling inside the energy here, you're forgiving, but you're forgiving from the other side of a closed door. And that's how it's going to remain. You've gotten to a point in your life, Scorpio, where you have far too much to lose. And the universe is trying to show you that everything you have worked for can be put into jeopardy should you allow these old energies into your life. You know, this is biblical. When you have blessings come through from the divine, there's certain people that just can't share in them with you because they don't deserve to. In a lot of these cases, if not all of your cases, these are individuals that literally tried to stand in your way of getting to where you are right now. They made your life more difficult. You know, people don't need to always completely support you or understand your vision, but making your life more difficult from behind your back or without your knowledge is completely unacceptable. And I feel for you Scorpios, that's exactly what you have dealt with. What do we have at the sacral, please? Knight of Wands at the sacral. Now, this Knight of Wands to me is representing some sort of chaotic energy that is trying to re-enter your life. Now, I'm picking up on a slightly different energy from this Eight of Cups, so this could be representing more than one person, but I do feel that there's some sort of thread between these people. It's like one person saying, okay, you try and get back in Scorpio's energy this way. I'm going to try this way. Let's all go at Scorpio from different angles and see where they cave. Let's see where we can get an entry point. You know, This is also a really interesting energy to get in your birthday season, Scorpio, because it tells me that there's people that aren't even in your life anymore, or there's people that aren't around for at least the other 364 days of the year. But on your birthday, all of a sudden they pop up and want to make their presence known in your life. It's like your worst enemy contacting you to wish you a happy birthday. It's diabolical. It doesn't make any sense. And the whole purpose of this is not to truly wish you a happy birthday. It's to make you miserable. It's to make you react. It's to trigger you. And they're doing it on what can be seen as the most important day of your year, your solar return. It's a celebration of you. And you know, Scorpio, this says a lot about people as well, because it's a very clear sign that they don't respect you. If they respected you, they would keep their distance from you instead of constantly trying to knock on a closed door. And that's the thing. Not only was it not easy for you to get to this point, Scorpio, but it took an incredibly long time for you to even harness the courage to do this. I just heard very clearly a lot of you suffered a lifetime of mental and spiritual abuse that you were never really able to define. You know, mental and spiritual abuse is the worst kind because it's hard to perceive, right? It's almost hidden. The psychological nature of a lot of the attacks that the Scorpio collective has gone under was meant to make you question your own reality. I just heard intense gaslighting campaigns, right? So it's one of these situations as well where people form weapons against you. They try to literally hurt you. And then all of a sudden they pop up on your birthday trying to act like they care for you. And this is exactly how cyclical abusers operate. There's this sort of split dynamic between their abusive side and then the guise that they try to re-enter your life under to see if they can get back in your energy. It's like they go from the tyrant to the peacemaker to the destroyer and then the repairer and then back again. The difference between you and them now, Scorpio, is that you see this very clearly now. But these are individuals that are programmed one way. They're like NPCs, right? They don't compute that you're not playing the game anymore. So they constantly try to re-enter under, again, this guise of what they think you will respond to. But you refuse to play that game any longer. And you see the world differently, Scorpio. The lens that you look through is completely different than the lens they look through. We're talking about extreme differences in belief systems here. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a problem all the time, but when it comes to what you're dealing with here, Scorpio, it is a problem. Because in their world, they think that their behavior is justified. It's just all they know. But the bottom line here, Scorpio, is that there's absolutely nothing that these energies can bring to you in your life now and where you are at that would add to the tapestry, so to speak. And Scorpios, I feel this goes without saying, but you need to understand that these are the kinds of situations, the kinds of energies that should you allow into your life again, you will wake up exactly where you left off with them. It's like all of your growth, spiritually, mentally, materially, would quickly begin to unravel before your eyes. And you would be right back at square one. And I know that you know that because a lot of you have already done that. See, you went back a few times before you got to the point that you're at now. Now you know better. But we don't get it right the first time. It takes a few attempts. And what that means is that when you set out on your journey and it got a bit difficult, you might have gone back or you might have let somebody into your life for some sort of support. And then you realize that you were having to start all the way back at square one again. But you didn't have a full grasp on why that was at that time. Now you do. You realize those energies were creating some sort of interference. There was some sort of negative influence there. It's like the universe saying to you, hey, you can't take these energies with you. But as a Scorpio, you don't listen the first time. You have to see it for yourself. And this is really most people anyway, right? When you are getting downloads from the universe, again, very rarely are you ever going to get it right the first time. It's just not how life works. You know, we're tactile. So we have a tendency to believe what is physically standing before us before our own intuition, at least at the beginning of your journey. But now you are able to better discern between higher guidance and anxiety, right? What does that mean, being able to discern between higher guidance and anxiety? Well, Scorpios, when you are surrounded by energies similar to the ones I'm picking up here, it can create a sort of anxiousness, right? You get that anxiety. It has a way of stressing you out. It basically lowers your vibration, which can make it very difficult to, let's say, hear the voice of spirit. Your guidance becomes a bit clouded. It becomes more difficult to discern between the real inner voice and the interference that you're picking up around you. It's like you have an antenna connected to you, and when you're too close to another kind of energy, you begin to pick up its reception. So you need to create distance so you can pick up a clear reception from source. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Wow. Six of Swords, Aquarius energy at the solar plexus. This just followed everything we channeled through, because the Six of Swords is all about transitioning on. It's also an energy of your rite of passage. And see how it's like you have your inner child with you, right? So all of those parts of you that I just heard were tormented, that were wounded, you are now embracing, you are now healing, and you are taking with you, and you are not allowing these things to continue to harm you. Your elevation is non-negotiable. And you know, we always hear this saying that your new life is going to cost you your old one, right? So it's like you've handed Spirit the keys to your old life, and Spirit has now handed you the keys to your new life. And in order to re-enter your old life, you would have to go through Spirit. It's like going to Spirit and saying, hey, can I get my old keys back? And Spirit says to you, well, are you sure that's what you want to do? Or you're going to have to give me the new keys. We can't have you holding both, because we can't let those energies from this past cycle into this new timeline that you're on. It doesn't work like that. They need to put the work in to meet you where you're at. What you're doing right here is downgrading your whole life. You are now lowering the standard of your life, that standard that you have worked so hard to uphold. For what? For what? Because you missed somebody that never truly cared for you the way that you always wanted them to? Or because maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely because no one said that this path was easy, right? Especially for Scorpios, there's no cakewalk to the path that you signed up for before you even came here. You signed up for this mission knowing exactly what you were going to get yourself into, and you accepted it proudly. And it was only offered to you because you were the right one for the job. See, Scorpios, you're down here breaking generational curses, okay? That's what your whole entire mission is about here. And this is what it looks like. Yes, you will be afforded an extreme amount of abundance as you move forward on this path. You will be provided for by the universe. You will want for nothing. You could truly have it all, but you must stick to your guns and not go back. Those people, those energies, those situations, those mindsets, those behavioral patterns, those communities, whatever it is for you, are what you came here to expose, to heal, to show an example to of what it looks like to be in the position you're in. These are people that counted you out. They didn't think that you would do anything significant with your life. And now you either are proving them wrong or you're preparing to. And that's not what it's about. It's not about proving anybody wrong. Sometimes at the beginning of this journey, that's how you feel. But as time goes on, it becomes less and less about that. And this just really speaks about you releasing resentment as you make your way further down your path. But all of those actions, all of those feelings have their place, and you're supposed to go through all of them. It's a part of the process. Nothing here is by chance and nothing is by mistake. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to, Scorpio, when you get on this path. Because at the end of the day, all of it is being used to help awaken the unawakened. And you are being used as an instrument of the divine to do this. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Cups and Page of Swords. So the Ten of Cups, Pisces energy, is the picture of happiness. Whatever it is, right, for you, this is it. And then the Page of Swords here, this is them watching you achieve this. And they're being left with a clear comparison of how your life looked when they were in it to how your life looks without them in it. And that right there is a shocking revelation that they do not want to accept. How is it all of a sudden that you're able to achieve this level of happiness and success? What's changed? What common denominators have been removed that were once in your life, that were once a part of every single step you took? This is paradigm shifting to them. It's these sorts of situations that trigger awakening in people. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. You know, the universe needs these people to be honest with themselves about the difficulties that they brought into your life. You know, the universe is using you to get these people to see this clearly in hopes that it will trigger some sort of awakening inside of them. What do we have at the heart, please? Eight of Swords, Gemini energy at the heart. Eight of Swords is an energy of a self-imposed restriction. It's like these people are trapped inside this reality that they created, and you've escaped. And that's what this is all about. It's not about them meeting you where you're at and wanting to support you on your path and reintegrate themselves into your life in a positive sort of manner. No, it's about getting you to turn around and meet them on the level that they are at. You know, these are the same people, Scorpios, not only used to look down on you, but would make you feel really bad about where you're at in life. You haven't done this, you haven't done that, you're never going to do anything, and blah, blah, blah. And then also say all of these same things to other people in and around your life, just really making you feel like a low-down, good-for-nothing loser. Even when you were working day in and day out to try and make something happen. Full-on psychological warfare. Now here you are, again, having removed those common denominators from your life, and everything that you were once working so hard for, you either have or are achieving. And now these people try to come back around and try to get you to relinquish that and come back down to their level. See, it was never about anything that you were doing wrong. And this is what you are beginning to realize now. It was always about control. They would make you feel bad for not being something, for not having some level of success or stability in your life. But it was actually a gaslighting campaign to try and disarm your forward momentum. It's like locking a bird inside a cage and then calling it worthless because it can't fly. Deep psychological warfare. That's the best way I can put this, Scorpio. But it was all unseen. A lot of you, if not all of you, didn't even know what was going on. It's like begging the universe to show you what you need to do. What am I doing wrong? I'm trying everything. And I'm not talking about people out there half-assing it, right? I'm talking to Scorpios that were truly dedicated to the path and the mission, doing everything possible and just not seeing movement, which is actually what began to trigger something inside of you anyway, to realize that there was something up. You're like, wait a second here. What's going on? And for a lot of you, it's that questioning that you had, which caused you to look outside of yourself, right? Maybe it's something in my environment. Maybe it's a person in my life. You know, the universe will work magic in our life in a way that doesn't completely make sense at the time. But after you have moved on and you look back, it's nothing short of genius, right? Because it all works in a very systematic, very meticulous kind of fashion to get you to where you are in that very moment. It's like saying, well, this had to happen to lead to this, and then that had to happen to lead to this. There's really no other way around it. It's like you had to be in the trenches to realize that there's no end in sight. The plan was to always keep you down in the pit, Scorpio. For a lot of you, this was family. You know, people telling you, oh, well, if you work real hard, you'll get here and there, right? Only to realize that you have worked as hard as you possibly could for God knows how long, for some of you decades, and you're actually worse off than you were when you started, because now you're a bit older, you're tired, you're watching other people completely pass you by, and you feel like there's something wrong with you. Like, what, am I missing something here? Only to finally come to realize that you were led down the completely wrong path by people who presented themselves as caring for you and wanting what was best for you. But in reality, they wanted to destroy you. And though each and every one of you is going to have a different story, the overall energy is the same. This is when you are awakened to some kind of truth inside of you. Okay, well, why would they do that? What is it about me? Is there something wrong with me? Is there something that I did? You know, you go through a phase of questioning, and then you finally land on the fact that no, it's not any of those things. It's that they sense something inside of you that you haven't even sensed yet. They can't put it into words. They just know that you stir something in their spirit, something they don't like. And what it is, I just heard a wedge to the very existence they think they're living. It's like somebody who has an entity inside of them that is just controlling them. And then you come along and the universe is using you to trigger things in this person to get this entity to surface and leave, right? It's like you are a walking, talking, universal instrument that is used to exorcise demons from people, behavioral patterns, mindsets, right? Which are all essentially demons. Demon is just another word for something that possesses an individual to act out in a certain way. The reason why people call them demons is because there's certain behavioral patterns and mindsets that are associated to different kinds of demons, which are just spirits, right? It's like the spirits are what cause the possession in people, which is why it's easy to say that person's a demon, right? Because of the way they act. And because you're a Scorpio, you're actually made for this. This is what the universe sent you here to do. Some of the cards that you represent in the tarot are the Tower, the Death card, Judgment, your Plutonian energy. It's all about transformation. And your old ruler is Mars. So transformation, destruction, breaking down of societal norms, a complete destruction of false securities. You are an instrument of awakening. You are the revelation. And so when you go through this awakening process, this is what you realize you are. You become that. You embody that. And that's why this path isn't for everybody, because it requires you being very disciplined in the way you move, the people you allow into your energy, because every time you take a misstep, it sets you back a little bit. And a lot of you are beginning to realize this now. And this isn't to say that you're not going to make mistakes. You're always going to make mistakes. That's just a part of life. Getting back up after you've made a mistake and just doing better next time, right? This is a process. You don't master the Scorpio energy overnight. It takes a lifetime. But if you start to look at your life through this lens of being an instrument of transformation, and you become very dedicated to that, dedicated to the task, the mission rather, at hand, your life will begin to flourish in ways that you never thought possible. You begin to feel that universal embrace. The divine takes care of you, provides for you, and things will get progressively better over time. You just got to stick it out. What do we have at the throat, please? Ace of Wands in reverse. Fire energy at the throat. A lot of you Scorpios are on the precipice of another level up here. There's some sort of cycle that's closing out, and it's directly connected to these energies that feel like they're circling you, right? They're trying to find an in. Now, the Ace of Wands is an energy of some sort of new project or something that you're working on. Could have something to do with your career, a job. Take it as it fits. But it's come out in reverse. So it's like there's this opposing force that knows you are getting ready to have another level up, and they're coming through trying to get back in your energy so you don't actually reach out and grab on to the wand, which represents the new beginning, right? The Ace of Wands is also a very creative energy here. So this could be something you have been working on for quite some time. I just heard it's something that maybe you just thought wasn't going to happen for you, but you've been working on this little by little behind the scenes. Again, it's going to be different for all of you, but there's something here that Spirit is going to give you access to because of all of the work that you have put in to your spiritual evolution and just being dedicated to Source, making yourself available. And this Ace of Wands is at the throat chakra, so this could have something to do with communication. Some of you could be in music, some of you could be writers, some of you could be speakers, podcasts, YouTube channels, TikToks, whatever it is. There's just something here, and I feel that this is in some way, shape, or form connected to your spiritual evolution. Well, it took the spiritual evolution to make this possible, so it could be that you're integrating all of this into this creation here. Let's say there was somebody who has always been musically inclined. There's talent there, but no matter how hard they tried, it just wasn't happening for them. So then they put their focus on this massive spiritual evolution and really put their attention on all these other areas of their life that need healing, that need their time and focus. But all the while, they're just remaining creative and they're not completely disengaged from that creative side of themselves, but it's just not their entire focus. They're working on the areas that make up the actual foundation of their life. And as time goes on, they find themselves on this new stable foundation. And in areas where they may have seen road blockages with their creativity and having some sort of success there, it actually becomes something that is a possibility in some capacity here. There just seems to be some sort of movement here. It's like Spirit saying, hey, you've done a lot of work. How about we give this a try? We have some ideas for you. And the difference here, though, is that you have all this lived experience. You are interfacing with reality in a completely different way, and it's added depth to your creations, right? To your music, to your writings. There's something substantial there that would connect to people. It's like maybe that's what was always missing. There's something lived. There's something human. There's something real inside your creations now, and other people could benefit from it. And right on the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is a very disciplined energy. And we also have the Ace of Pentacles up here as well. So it's to say that your discipline, your focus, your dedication to working on the stability, the foundation of your life, brings through new opportunities. Ace of Pentacles, I feel, is the direct result of this Ace of Wands. It's like Spirit saying, hey, let's pick this thing back up here. Let's try something different, because you're working with a different set of tools now. And you've got something here, okay? Ace of Pentacles is also an energy of manifestation and being able to make a real world impact. Maybe before it wasn't practical because of the way your life was structured, but now it is. Times have changed. Yeah, and then right underneath this King of Pentacles, we have the Moon. Okay, so there's something you don't see. You don't see this coming. Four of Wands, there's some sort of celebration here. What do we have at the third eye, please, Spirit? Two of Pentacles, Capricorn energy at the third eye. Now, the Two of Pentacles here is an energy of time management. It's also an energy of adapting, okay? So I feel that this is representing your old life. This is representing your new life. And it's like you're in between this new cycle and a cycle you're closing out. And this aligns with these energies trying to come back. It's exactly what I was picking up here. Yeah, I just heard the universe is using these old situations from the past to strength test you to see where you are going to land on the new timeline. And that message about strength testing has been coming through in a lot of the readings lately. But again, a lot of universal tests, there's a lot of things coming up for review. It's just how it goes. It's like you have adapted to this new way of life. And I feel that there's room for some sort of old dream from the past. We saw the Moon card a moment ago underneath that King of Pentacles, which can certainly represent dreams. Some of you are so grounded in this new timeline that you're in that a part of you doesn't even look at said dream the same anymore. It's not a big deal to you. You could take it or leave it, right? But that right there is exactly why you are being given another opportunity to quite possibly align with this thing now. Because you're not pouring all this desperate energy into this, I have to do this has to be this way, and blah, 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 right? It's different now. And this goes against the saying of the broke, starving musician, right? This is different. This is somebody who has some sort of talent, something that can be added to the tapestry of life, so to speak. But the way they access it is not through being a broke, starving musician. They access it by building stability for themselves in another area of their life and then focusing on said creative project. The Chariot. Okay, so the Chariot's all about victory, Cancer energy, and then the Ten of Wands. Yeah, it's like a lot of you couldn't accomplish said thing, whatever it was, right? Because you had so many responsibilities on your shoulders, so much stress, right, from these situations here. Look, there's the Ace of Pentacles again, and Three of Cups, so celebration. You know, a lot of you out there were so overwhelmed by your environments. None of you were supported in the way that you needed to be supported, that there was just no possible way you could ever attain this success with whatever it is, right? So the universe says, okay, we're going to go about this a different way for you. We're going to completely rewrite the script on how this is even done. So let's go ahead and put that thing off to the side and let's focus on your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health, your stability, and your overall emotional well-being. We're going to get you to a place where you're so stable, so content with yourself and where you're at in life, despite what successes you've attained and what successes you haven't attained. You are just flowing with the universe, and your faith is so strong that you have become completely present in the moment. Then and then only are we going to open the door to this new possibility for you. And I just heard they won't even see it coming. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Devil. All right, we're going to take this devil in reverse. So the devil in reverse is an energy of breaking free. So it's like you have reclaimed your power. You've left some sort of abusive situation that was holding you back is really what it comes down to. And you're actually beginning to see how the universe is working in your life. It's like the universe has brought you to a space of peace, calm, serenity, and they're now helping you rebuild on this new timeline and giving you access to things that you may have thought long gone, right? See, all of these things are part of your path. They're a part of your mission. They may not be the actual focal point of it, but without you realizing it, you have worked to make them a focal point again. Now, I feel that this is just really speaking about the universe, giving you a lot of different tools in your tool belt. I feel that the Scorpios I'm speaking to out there have access to many different skills. It's not just one thing for you, but there always seems to be some sort of common thread between all of the different things that Scorpios do. The universe has a way of marrying all these things together. So it's like you go through your spiritual evolution and then you integrate that into your creations and it just makes it better. It makes it more real. It turns into something that people feel connected to. And it's all because of your evolution. This is when you look back and you say, man, I'm so glad I went through all of that because what I'm creating now is eclipsing what I even thought possible way back when I was a starving artist, so to speak. See, it was never about you not being able to do something. It was about the devil keeping you locked inside that cage. What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please? Whew. Wow. 8 of Swords again, right? I just said it was about the devil keeping you locked inside that cage, and here we are, 8 of Swords, which represents imprisonment, mental imprisonment, spiritual imprisonment, right underneath that 8 of Cups. So 8-8. And 8s represent the 8th house, which is scorpionic energy, the 8th house of transformation. See, the 8 of Swords underneath the 8 of Cups is an energy where they were trying to use your emotions to keep you trapped. And that perfectly aligns with the tactics they're using to get back in your energy. They're trying to trigger old wounds. They're trying to go directly for your Achilles heel, right? Well, if we can just say this or do this, it will trigger that old emotion inside of them, and then they'll just cave in on themselves. If we can just get in Scorpio's energy long enough to remind them of all that pain, all that suffering. See, they think it just lives somewhere inside of you, like it's been locked up inside a door in the deep recesses of your subconscious mind. They don't know that you've actually done the work to heal those parts of you, the best you know how. You're not afraid of facing those things again, but you're certainly not going to put yourself in a position willingly to where these people can weaponize those things. See, that's what this inner child represents right there, right? You still have it with you. You're not hiding from anything. You just know how to compartmentalize it now. See, there's a wickedness to these people. See, the fact that these people are even thinking this way just really tells you how wicked they are. The only way they can think about getting into your life is by trying to trigger some sort of pain that they think still lives inside of you unhealed. What they fail to realize is you are in the position you're in now is because you have healed those parts of you. What do we have at the sacral, please? The Empress. Libra, Taurus, Venusian energy at the sacral. This Empress is read as Empress in its negative polarity. Follows the message I just gave perfectly, because the Empress typically is an energy of abundance. It's of fertility and growth and just expansion. But from this deck, it's an energy that is dependent on others. It's an energy where there is no growth. It's an energy that's very insecure, and it's an energy that is completely blocked creatively. And it's right underneath that Knight of Wands. So they're trying to bring chaos into your life to block you, and they're trying to use old triggers to do it. And they're going to come through under the guise of missing you, loving you, all these sorts of things, but also failing to address the actual reason why things are the way they are now. And I know you won't fall for this, Scorpio, but sometimes you just need to hear it put this way to remind you how far you've come. And you also need to remember that just because you're in the position you're in now doesn't mean that you can integrate those old energies into this new timeline, into this new beginning. Like we already established earlier on in the reading, it doesn't work like that. You've already handed your keys over. What do we have? The solar plexus, please. Knight of Pentacles. Earth energy at the solar plexus. Now, the Knight of Pentacles from this deck is a very obsessive, stubborn, self-serving energy. It's an energy that's trying to anchor you back into an old timeline. They're not interested in who you are now, what your life looks like, what your spiritual evolution was all about. They don't care, Scorpio. All they care about is getting you back in that cage and pointing their finger at you and telling you how worthless you are. A helpful way of thinking about what reality looks like for these people is sort of like an old broken film strip. It's like everything needs to remain the same. Everything needs to repeat. It's cyclical. And when something from that cyclical reality that they live in removes itself, the lie that they're living begins to break down. So their whole purpose in life becomes bringing those things back so they can continue to live the lie. Because these are people that would rather put all of their time and energy into doing that than actually doing the work themselves. And this is interesting. We have the Knight of Pentacles underneath the Six of Swords here. And see how this Knight of Pentacles looks like an anchor? It's like it's trying to anchor this boat down. That boat is representing you moving forward. It's kind of interesting. It's like it almost looks like a compass, right? North, south, east, and west. And then the anchor here. It's like it's trying to redirect the course that you're on. What do we have of the heart, please, Spirit? Whew. Eight of Cups again. Malevolent behavior. Something that really speaks for itself, okay? These energies here only wish to do you harm, and that is it. There is nothing good here. There's nothing that they're even bringing to the table. The fact that they think you would fall for this is beyond me. But it really just goes to show how completely disconnected they are from reality. You know, for most of you Scorpios out there, your silence, your non-reaction to all of this is exactly what these people need. It's like they need to feel that. They need to experience the coldness of you rejecting them without even saying or doing anything. The silence speaks in volumes, Scorpios. And then we have the Emperor. And there's your level up. Mars, Aries energy right there. Political authority. This is really just speaking about the position you are getting ready to elevate into. And it's further emphasizing this solid foundation that your life is now sitting on. There's structure to your life. You are a leader. You are an emperor. And your life is your kingdom. It's like you have gone from the pit to the palace. Literally, the Eight of Swords, right? The caged bird. Big part of these people's karma is having to witness that. What you've come from to where you are now. It's situations like these that are not only biblical, but they are stark realizations to these people that the presence of God is in your life. They don't see any way this could have been possible without it. God is using you to prove himself real in the face of your enemies. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? The world. It says right here, fountain of wisdom. Give success in all ventures, and it's right underneath that Ace of Wands, right? So remember how I was talking about your spiritual evolution now setting you up in some capacity to have some sort of newfound depth to your creations? It's like your wisdom was the missing ingredient, and it's what is going to now give you success in all ventures. It's like Spirit saying, hey, yeah, we know you've had this talent or whatever it is, right? This gift, this blessing that we provided you with. But to truly use it in its fullest capacity, you had to go through these life lessons. You had to go through this spiritual evolution. So you would have all of this wisdom to now draw from, to give your creations a certain kind of depth. And it's your dedication. It's your faith, your connection to source that is making all this happen. Right there it says, God, the source of wisdom. And then right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Hermit. Word of God creating all. Alchemy and transformation. So, and it says right there, helps with spiritual progress. So this is confirming what I'm saying to be true. Your spiritual progress, your spiritual evolution was always the missing ingredient. But now you have it. Where do we have the third eye, please? Knight of Pentacles again. So we have that twice, but these are read differently. This is a negative polarity. This is a positive polarity. So the Knight of Pentacles here is speaking about the way you're moving. You're moving in this very methodical fashion. You're moving with the universe. It's like Spirit saying to you, hey, yeah, that thing, we can make that happen, but this is the path that you're going to have to go down to get there. Yeah, it looks different for you, but this is the mission that we handpicked just for you. But when you get there, it's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be like nothing anyone has ever seen, but it's going to take some work. But if you're in, we can make it happen. And that's exactly what I'm seeing is taking place here. All right, what do we have at the crown to close this out for my Scorpios, please? Six of Pentacles. Taurus energy at the crown to close out the reading. The favorable God. Divine grace. Now, the Six of Pentacles here is further highlighting your connection with Source. There's this giving and receiving kind of energy. And this is exactly what we want to see for Scorpionic energy, because that's how it works for you. You're not given anything for free. For all the hard work you put in, the universe will offer blessings to you to arm yourself on your path. So it confirms what we said about the universe saying, hey, we can make this happen, but this is how we got to get there. But for every step you take towards this, we're going to match you. We're going to meet you halfway and guide you through this journey. You just got to stick it out. And the Six of Pentacles is also an energy of abundance. It's support. It speaks about financial help as well. So I just feel that this is further reiterating what I said about the universe taking care of you because you're on this path. You're dedicated. You're loyal to the mission. But Scorpios, there's a lot of prosperity here with this Emperor, the world, and the Six of Pentacles. But this reading right here is a perfect kind of message because it's grounded in reality. It shows us that your hard work pays off, but it takes focus, it takes dedication, and it requires you not backpedaling. Because as we concluded, it's trap. The whole purpose of that is to get you back in that cage so you can't spread your wings. So Scorpios, however this resonates for you at this time, I certainly hope that it provides you with something that you can arm yourself with on your path right now to help you through closing out this cycle and taking that leap forward into this new beginning. So with that, I will leave it here. All right, Scorpios, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. And there's a glitch in the YouTube app right now. So if you're trying to press like on the video and it's not allowing you to like the video, do me a favor and just drop a heart or a comment, and that will work just the same, okay? But whatever the case, I would like to extend my gratitude for all of your donations and support on my channel, your personal reading bookings, the purchases that you have all made at my online store, and also thank you to everybody who's joined the membership side of my channel. But in closing, I would like to know how this reading resonated with you, so let me know in the comment section down below, again by dropping a heart and or a comment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.